Hi, Vinod. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. To start, can you tell me a little bit about InstaHeadshots and what you do?
Yeah. Hi, Gina. Thanks so much for having me. I am Vinod. I'm a co-founder and the CEO at InstaHeadshots. InstaHeadshots is a tool to help professionals create a stunning personal brand, mostly online, but offline as well. We do that by transforming ordinary photos of people into amazing studio quality professional headshots. And all this happens in 15 minutes without ever leaving your desk. Our customers include sales, marketing professionals, small business owners, recruiters, job seekers, basically anybody who wants to make what we call a good first impression. People use these headshots on company websites, posters. We've seen magazine covers, billboards. But interestingly, one of the most popular cases has been, getting a snazzy LinkedIn profile picture, right? So yeah, that's what we do.
I tried it out this morning and the results were really, really realistic. So impressive technology that you've built there. So I'd love to hear a little bit about the main business challenge that you're solving for. What goals specifically that you're looking to achieve, target audience, et cetera, with advertising.
I think, Gina, we're a small team. We love building easy to use, beautiful and powerful software products. And like any small team that's good at building stuff, we're on a mission. We think everybody loves and deserves a great headshot. So we know how to build that, but our biggest challenge after that is how do we grow? How do we find customers to use the product? We're still very early in the journey. And I would say the number one challenge, something that we all worry about, is how do we put Insta headshots in front of prospective customers and convince them to trust us, right? For us, success is essentially when the customer gives us a chance and, makes a purchase. And we're also a little bit of an oddball in this. Customer acquisition often feels like e-commerce and looks like software for us. AI compute is expensive. So when we serve our customers, unit economics and efficiency are really critical, right? So we want to grow fast, and we want our customers to trust and transact with us. And we want to do that while keeping our unit economics in check, right? So,
Amazing. So growth, efficiency, and trust.
right.
Trifecta. So how did LinkedIn ads help you address these challenges?
Right. Some of this might seem obvious when I say this now, but it wasn't when we started, right? LinkedIn was our first social channel where we looked to expand our audience. And in hindsight, again, LinkedIn is perfect for a product that, sort of talks about and is about personal branding. Before we got on LinkedIn, sort of the majority of our customer acquisition used to happen when people searched for something, right, on Google. And we were completely missing audiences who would consider us if they knew about us and saw us in the context of, their professional work. And, we started with LinkedIn. We worked with the LinkedIn account team, started exploring and discovering audience cohorts that, it might make sense to reach out to. And we set up rapid experiments and we discovered, sort of a messaging and targeting strategy. And for us, this was a completely fresh approach to reaching customers at that point. And honestly, it's been a game changer for our growth story. LinkedIn has been the place where we've changed our trajectory as a company.
That's amazing to hear. I'd love to hear what impact you saw from using LinkedIn ads to help you solve these challenges.
Yeah, Gina. So we would not have expected this, but LinkedIn is our best growth channel to date. It's been the fastest growing. It's now also one of our largest channels. It's been the most efficient channel, and it's also had the highest incremental impact on our revenues. And even more than that, it's helped us understand who our customer is, what is the value for them, what are the messages that they resonate with. And I think it's given us confidence in scale and growth potential, right? And that we're doing something that is substantial. And I think perhaps the best way to put it is, I think on LinkedIn, we are present when the customer is thinking of how to do better in their professional lives, right? Which completely aligns with the value we create for them.
That's great. I'd love to double click a little bit. How did you use LinkedIn to more deeply understand your customer and also understand the messaging that best resonated with them?
Right. So I think our journey with LinkedIn has done a few things for us. One is we've sort of jumped in and we're now part of the conversation around how to present a good personal brand, right? I think being on LinkedIn has also sort of led to trust by association. And we've also managed to, move fast and, sort of get in control of our growth story. And there's a bunch of, things that we still want to try. It's early days, right? So we're looking at engaging with our audiences, some of it organically as well. There's new content and format ideas that we want to try. And I think really it's about engaging and building a position of leadership, right? And all of this, LinkedIn seems to be the perfect place for us to try. There's also, looking ahead into the future, we're looking at, a go-to-market for teams, enterprises, associations, events. And again, LinkedIn seems like such a natural fit for us. We're thinking of deeper integrations into the product, helping people update their profile pictures automatically, sharing on LinkedIn, logging in and authenticating with LinkedIn, right? It all seems to make a lot of sense for us.
And then can you talk to me a little bit about content creation? So how did you go about creating your first ad on LinkedIn?
Right. I think, Gina, for us, there is an intrinsic draw to the product, right? So we've seen this happening with us as well, right? When we're building the product and we create a set of headshots for somebody on the team, right? And everybody crowds around the monitor and then, hey, let's click and look at that other picture, right? So I think that going in, we sort of realized that the actual outcomes in the product are the things that we should showcase, right? So that's sort of where we started with, right? And along the way, in our first experiments, it became sort of very clear that one of the winning strategies is showing that transformation, right? Because that's the start thing, right? The images that you put into the product and the ones you get out are so dramatically different. And I think when I talk about like understanding what we should put into the ads, we also listen to our customers and see what they say. And I think consistently the things that you will see are our customers saying are, oh, these are amazing headshots. I never thought I would get this. And this was so easy, right? So listening to the things that customers find valuable and then sort of feeding that in. Our first ad was essentially, showcasing a transformation and talking about how these amazing headshots are just a few minutes away, right? So that's where the process, started.
That's great. So again, kind of like listening to your customers, using their feedback, optimizing from there, and using those as your kind of value prop. Amazing. So you mentioned your audience, start small. What's the biggest thing you learned about your audience that perhaps you didn't think would be the case through using LinkedIn?
Right. I think we were surprised with how many people would consider getting a headshot if they were shown that there's an easy way to do it and it doesn't cost a lot of money or time or effort and you can get a great result. I think, so this happens a lot with digital products, right? Where you think that the outcome's so hard to get that you're not considering doing something that would be valuable for you. Obviously, going out and getting a photograph in a studio is prohibitive, right? So people are not always looking for what you're offering, right? And I think that was one of our big discoveries, that if you show people when they're in the right headspace, in the right environment where they're thinking of doing better with their work, you are going to get their interest, you're going to get their consideration, right? And if you can build trust, you're going to get them to act on all of that and, try out your product.
Thank you. So how has your success with LinkedIn advertising helped grow InstaHeadshots? So beyond investing further in LinkedIn ads, have you been able to invest in your business in other ways as a result of leveraging our platform?
Yeah, so I think what LinkedIn has unlocked for us is, a way to think of the audience as, a particular professional group or a group of people in a particular context, and, sort of hone the message and value that would work for them, right? So, sort of expanding a vertical, for example, opening up headshots for lawyers or opening up headshots for realtors, right? And focusing on that cohort and building a very coherent strategy around that, right? And I think this is something that we will continue doing. And it's a whole loop where we go into LinkedIn, experiment and discover an audience, find the value that works for them and, sort of feed that back into the product building cycle, right?
Great. And you also mentioned trust. How have you worked to build that trust and authenticity on LinkedIn?
Right. So I think trust is not earned easily, right? So I think some of it is being consistent in our messaging and surfacing sort of evidence of customers being happy. One of the strange things that I was mentioning about a product is people actually have to take a leap of faith before they see the results, right? Like what happened with you. And it's not easy to see what's going to happen, once you go through the gates and come out on the other side. Putting it in a social context, when people engage with our posts, right, talk about getting amazing headshots, surfacing customer ratings, and generally being on point about the things that our customers already care about. So, our messaging includes, apart from showing the transformation from the ordinary photos to the amazing headshots, we also talk about the confidence and authority that a good headshot puts out. So I think the trust is something people draw from other people's experiences and the conversation that is happening around the content that we put out, right? And I think LinkedIn is the right place for that to happen.
So the professional context that LinkedIn offers really helps you there.
Correct.
So I'd love to hear, what are your top 3 tips that you would give to another SMB who's considering starting an ads campaign on LinkedIn?
I think a lot of people will understand this when I say that starting on a new channel, particularly for a small business, is always intimidating. It was for us as well, right? And I think there are a few ways that we can be smart about this. And this is kind of what I think worked for us, right? Number one is I think you should pick a small audience. The more you're able to focus on a smaller group, the further your spend will go towards helping you answer questions. Second, you should be willing to try a variety of messaging. If something is not working, you should be ready to try something dramatically different. A lot of times people get stuck in just incrementally changing what they're saying and how they're saying it. But often the real winners lie far away from wherever and whatever it is that you're doing, right? Third, I think is, you sort of align your bidding strategy to the customer's context. That would include, if your customer has a monthly billing cycle and looks at it in the 4th week of the month, right, then that's the time when you should be grabbing their attention. I know you said 3 tips, but I would say, there's a 4th one, and this might seem obvious, but you keep looking for your winners and double down, right? That's the whole loop, right? You find an experiment with a audience cohort, right, and you hone your messaging, you align your bidding strategy, and then you just keep doing this with your winners and doubling down. In our experience, scale comes after many small, varied, and rapid experiments, right? And that's how you should think of, growing on a new channel. And this is what wonders for us on LinkedIn.
Start with what you believe to be true, experiment, optimize, and build from there.
Yes, that's correct.
Great. Well, Vinod, thank you so much for sharing your insights. We really appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing your continued success on LinkedIn.
Thank you, Gina. Thank you so much. And I'm going to be checking out your headshot later on LinkedIn.
So. Yes, I will definitely share that with you. Thank you, Vinod.